Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Greg. Hey, so today I want to bring you guys PBF Energy. Haven't talked about it in a while, but I really want to show you what was going on Robinhood, right? We know that there's been a ton of things going on in Robinhood where people have been actually spiking up the price. They call it a pump and dump. So that's not pretty much what happened to PBF Energy the other day, right? We know that there was some legislation that came out that the previous president was supposed to sign that would help the energy marketplace recover a little bit faster. That did not take place. The incoming president decided to push that to the side. But ultimately, we want to really just talk about PBF Energy in general and show you exactly what's going on. So, right now, as we look at PBF Energy and we scroll down, we see that it's $8.74 on Friday at closing. We see that it lost $1.03 or negative 10.84%. And we have a positive 27 cent or positive 3.19% after hours, right? So it actually went down, gained another 3% after hours or whatever. And we can scroll down here. We see that I have a market value of $874. It cost me $564.10. Today's return is negative $76 or 8%, right? Total return is $309.90 or positive 54.94%, right? Shows you right here that my average cost is $564. We have 100 shares. It's 20% of my portfolio value. So we're going to go ahead and click on the 1 week view of PBF Energy. We see that we're positive 59 cent or positive 7.24% overall, right? So you see, well, we have this big jump that came up and it pretty much went up to $13.19. So the high was $13.19. Possibly could have been a little bit higher. These charts sometimes are not always the most accurate, but $13.19 is pretty much what it went up to. And when that happened, my stake in PBF Energy was somewhere around the $1,300 range. So most people would probably say, hey, why not go ahead and get out when it's at $13 and some change? Let's head up out of here. But I want you guys to just take a look at the 5-year outlook on the charts, right, of PBF Energy. And we see at its low in 2016, it was a $19, $20 stock, right? And we see that, even in 2016, we see at $28. But we go back around here and we see on average it's a $20 stock. On into 2017, as it goes up, the beginning of 2018, we're at $36. We see a dip in 2018, gets it down to 29. So we're seeing that this is a $20, $30 plus stock. And then we go on through 2018 and we push on, there's another dip. It's at 42. The dip is down at 42. We go back up and we see this is a $50 stock. Small little dip, goes back up $52. This is at the ending of 2018. Then we get into 2019, low 2018, 2019, we start seeing the dips happen. And even in the end of 2018, we saw a dip and it's at the low 30s, right? It goes back up a little bit. We go into 2019 and we're watching this pretty much $30 stock that's declining. And then we start seeing a dip $23, right? So we back at the low end of what PBF Energy is usually at. And then we see it rise back up into the 30s before dropping back into the low 20s, right? This is mid 2019. It rallies back up, back in the 30s, end of 2019. We see it kind of do a small dip and then raise back up before COVID happened. This is now 2020, right? So we go through 2020, boom, we see the drop. This is when COVID happened. All the way down right here, we see this stock hit $5.76. And we would say that was the lowest, right? But believe it or not, it actually dipped a little bit lower. And that would have been in the October timeframe, November, October timeframe, where you see October 30th is at $4.67. So you could have got in at least twice at the low amounts. In the $5 range, in October, you could have got in the $4 range. And in November, it started going back in the $5 range. So when did we get into PBF Energy? Well, we'll go back to the 1-year chart and I'll show you that I got in somewhere around around that range originally, and somewhere in the April time frame, and then we watched it go up. You see, there was a time where it actually went up $15.29, and then we still didn't sell because we believe, hey, this is going to be a $30 play or somewhere near the $30 range in the long term. And then we watched this thing drop all the way back down. So most people would say, man, you're crazy. You could have sold right then, and then it possibly would have went down. You could have got back in, bought another 100 shares or two or whatever, and then watched it go back up. Yes, you are correct. I could have actually did that, but that's not what I did. Because, hey, when it goes up to $15 and some change, you start thinking in your head, man, maybe energy is about to go all the way back up. So had I sold at 15, yeah, I would have reached half of my goal, but I would have been getting rid of my 100 shares. And what would have happened if it would have continued to go up to $30? I would have missed out on the other $15, right? So the best bet is to hold on to the shares, watch it ride down, and especially if you know this is a long-term bet for you. Right now, we know that PBF Energy is not paying any dividends right now, even though they have a dividend set. Their dividend ratio is actually set, and there it is right there, 12.63% dividend yield, 12.63%. But they're not paying out. They suspended the dividends, right? Because they're trying to preserve cash and so on and so forth. We go back up, right? And once again, like I said, right around here, we were able to actually average down our shares, because I believe in only buying those extra shares when the price is lower than what I originally bought. So if I originally bought in the $6 range and it drops down to the $4 range, and I go ahead and pick up more shares, I'm able to average my share price down into the fives. And as you can see, our average cost now is $5.64. We own 100 shares, right? The price right now, obviously, is $8.74. So right now, we're in the process of just waiting and watching the energy market recover as it goes back up. Hopefully sometime this year, we're going to see the price bump up, right? So you can actually go up into your Google screen, just type in PBF stock forecast. And this is the forecast from MSN or CNN, right? Or Money, right? So you see right here, it says 16 analysts offering a 12-month price forecast of PBF Energy, and they have a median price target of $7, a high estimate of $9.50, and a low estimate of $4. So they're saying there's a possibility that, hey, you can get in at $4. It may dip at some point. So you want to continue to look at that. The median estimate represents a negative 17.26% decrease from the last price of $8.46, right? So that's the median or the low estimate, right? So if you go ahead and click on here, it's going to give you a bigger overview of what's going on, right? So they're showing you what the analysts believe right there. They're showing you the historical data. They're showing you the forecast, and they believe right around here that that's the high. That's the high for it at some point in the next 3 months. They say the next 12 months all the way out, but so it says it right here, 12-month price forecasting for PBF Energy, right? So right now it's up 19.15% year to date. Obviously for the day we're down negative 10% basically. But just look at that 52-week range. We're still in on the low when it comes to PBF Energy. The high, $29.58 in the 52-week. Now we know that as time goes on, the 52 weeks are going to change, right? We know this. As January pushes on and moves past us and we get into February, we know that we're going to lose that $30 for $29.58 52-week range, right? We know that the high for 52 week is going to be right around here, which was that $15 range. So we're going to lose the 30 and we're going to be somewhere in the 15s, right? And we know that recently we went up to $13 and some change. So we have to really pay attention to what's going on and figure out, hey, man, do we believe this is going to continue to be a $30 stock at some point? Or are we going to mess around and only get $15 or $13 out of this thing? I can tell you right now, personally, for me, I believe this is a long-term hold. We can go through and we can just pay attention to what's going on right here. These are the earnings and the sales forecast, so on and so forth. And you can see, hey, right now, they believe that it's negative 3.36 cent, right? In terms of $3.36 negative on the current quarter. But the actual numbers haven't came out. You can see right here, quarter four, the numbers haven't came out yet. And then we still have quarter one for, and that's going to be somewhere around March that the numbers come out, right? So they got it right here. Reporting date is going to be February 11th, right? So February 11th, hopefully we'll get the numbers for quarter four. And then shortly after, probably in April, May time frame, something like that, we'll get the numbers for quarter one, right? So you can scroll down and they'll show you all your numbers and all the stuff that you would want to see. Me personally, I believe this is a long-term hold, as always. And if it does drop down to the low that they say that possibly could drop down $4, hey, we'll go in, we'll grab even more shares. And by grabbing another 100 shares at the $4 range, yes, we're going to spend $400 because we're going to match what we already have, which is 100 shares. We're going to actually drop our price down. So we're going to average our cost down. So once again, if we're going in at $4 and we already have a $5.69 price target, we can swipe off that $5.60. We can swipe off that 69 cent and automatically put ourselves right around in the higher fours. And then, as you remember, if we go up from $4 to $8, which is usually around the price range this thing sits at, $8.50, something like that, we're going to be up by $4 or even $5 times 800 times 200 shares. So hey, we're still going to be in the money. Our plan is to actually come out of this deal, and we'll click back on it and scroll down, is to actually come out of this deal with about $3,000. As you can see, the analyst for Robinhood gives a 6% buy, a 53% hold, and a 41% sell, right? And you see my history right here. It pretty much shows it all. We can click on show more, and you see I have a sell limit in. There it is right there. $30, right? We're trying to get $30 a share. We may adjust it down to the mid 20s or the higher 20s, but we should come out of this deal with about $3,000 if it all holds up the way I want it to hold up. We can go over here to the PBF Energy website, and like I told you guys, always go to Investor Relations, and they'll show you some information, right? They have the news right here, fourth quarter 2020 earnings results to be released. So it says January 5th. This is when this came out, right? So if you click on it right there, they'll pretty much tell you, hey, February 11th. So we was right. If you go back, remember what we were talking about in terms of the earnings statements. Where are we at? Right there, report date, February 11th. So that's going to be for fourth quarter, right? So we're not going to get the first quarter until later on this year. Go back to their website. They're pretty much telling you right there. So if you want to get all the information, go to the actual company's website. They have all the information that you would need to know, because they have to show you all this information. They have to. If not, then they're going to be in trouble with the Security Exchange Commission, right? You see, you got the SEC filing. So anything that they need to actually report, they're going to report it to the SEC, and then they have to show it up on their websites as well. So once again, I believe this is going to be a long-term hold when it comes to PBF Energy, and that's what I'm sticking with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and we'll get back with you later. All right, you guys have a good one. Bye.